Started the recording properly.
Okay, you can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, we can see the screen.
Okay. I don't know, it's like so much complication. Okay, let's do some kirtan. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parira Chaktotra Shadashri His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
ISKCON BBT Samstha Bhagacharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Pariyattotra Shadashri His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki
Jai.
प्रेम को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
Jai.
वृंदावन धाम मथुरा धाम की
Jai.
मायापुर धाम नवदीप धाम की कुरुक्षेत्र क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
Jai.
गंगामाई यमुनामाई की
Jai.
तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की
Jai.
सामवेद भक्त वृंद की
Jai.
शिला प्रोपाद ट्रांसेंडल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की
Jai.
कलिगो पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
Jai.
निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and all glories to Shri Garanga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Radhananda Swami Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharana Shri Shunyavadi Bhajayastana. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Welcome to our weekly study of Bhagavad Gita. I am very grateful that all of you are here to discuss on the topic of Bhagavad Gita. I am very fortunate to be among all of you to speak something on Bhagavad Gita. So you all have been studying systematically for now how many years? 2 years or 1 year?
Year and a half.
Year and a half? More than a year. So we had completed the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, which is called the Karma Yoga section. Now we are in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 7 to chapter 12 is called Bhakti Yoga section. And then last section, chapter 13 to 18 is called Jnana Yoga section. We already saw why this is called Karma Yoga section, the first 6. Why it is called Karma Yoga section? Because the 3rd chapter is called Karma Yoga, the 2nd chapter is called Sankhya Yoga, 3rd chapter is called Karma Yoga, 4th chapter is called Jnana Yoga, 5th chapter is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and 6th chapter is called Dhyana Yoga. Then why is it called, the whole thing is called Karma Yoga? Karma means what? Action or activity, endeavor. So the Acharyas explain these are called Karma Yoga section because these chapters are called Karma Yoga section because these are the things the living entity, they have to make their own endeavor. They have to put their effort themselves. While doing the prescribed duty, they should disconnect from the results because otherwise they're getting entangled. They have to develop Gyan to understand who is the ultimate beneficiary of all these things. And then they have to put effort by controlling the mind to realize the Paramatma within. These are all endeavor the living entity has to make themselves. Because these are activities the living entity has to make, that's why it's called Karma Yoga. So when they make these endeavors in the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, they will eventually in the process get purified. When the contamination of the consciousness is purified, they come up to the level of a Atma. When the soul, when they realize that I am spirit soul, I am not anymore identifying myself with the body. And I understand that because I'm covered by these two layers of bodies. The gross body, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and space. Right? It's called Sthula Sharira, gross body. Then beyond that, there is something called Shukshma Sharira, subtle body. Subtle body is made up of three elements. What are the three elements?
Mind,
Mind,
intelligence,
and
false ego.
Manas, Buddhi, and Ahankar. These three are also material only, but it is subtle. Right? It is subtle. Compared to the gross element, the elements, right? Earth, water, fire, they are gross. We can see it, experience it. But the subtle, we can't, it's not tangible immediately to us. It is subtle. We know that it exists, but we can't pinpoint it. We know by its cause and effect. I know that I have mind. How do I know? I can't see it, I can't smell it, I can't taste it, I can't touch it. How do I know? Because I can see cause and effect. I am thinking. Somebody says thinking. Somebody says something, I'm trying to remember. Right? From that I can understand I have a mind. How do I know I have intelligence? Above the mind is the intelligence. How do I know I have the intelligence? Because I can do reasoning, I can do discrimination. I can make decision. Right and wrong, good and bad. Right? So that means that when the discriminating faculty is working, that means I have some intelligence. Then above that, more subtler than mind and intelligence is the ahankar, false ego. What is this false ego? Every time in this contemple they talk about false ego, false ego, false. What is this? What is it wrong with it? Ahankar means we all have the identity I am. The feeling of I am, everybody has. Because that is the property of the jiva. When the jiva is covered by the ahankar, the false ego, it masks its identity. I am whichever the body in which the soul is placed. The ahankar will make it to think the soul that I am this body. I am is the right one, right ahankar, right ego. The feeling of I am is nothing wrong with it. That is our individuality. Ahankar makes you to think that I am this body. Whichever, if today I'm in a man's body, I think I'm a man. Tomorrow I was put in a dog's body. I will think I'm a dog. Whichever body in which the soul is placed, ahankar makes you to think that I am this body. This is the purpose of ahankar. That's what false ego means. The real ego is I am spirit. Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit soul. But because of the presence of the false ego, the Atma thinks that I am man, I am a woman, I am an Indian, I am an African, American, right? I am an employee, I am a this, that. All this identification comes because through our body. That's the function of the false ego, to make you to think that I am this. The same Atma tomorrow puts in a dog's body, it will think that I am a dog. It will behave like a dog. This is what Ahankara does. These three layers of element constitute the Shukshma Sharira or subtle body. Krishna talked about it, right? In the 7th chapter, in the beginning. After the Manushyanam Sahasrareshu, he is saying, right? I'm going to tell you all this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. Then he talks about what are the Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kammano, Buddhi, Revache, Akankaram, Itiyemme, Binna, Prakriti, Ashtada. These 8 elements, Bhumi, earth. Bhumi means earth, right? Is the earth, the dirt we are talking about, that's the earth? Talking?
Right. Yes.
That is also, but we are talking about what Krishna is talking about
Earthiness.
in a subtle form. Meaning like earth element is not just the gross earth what we see. The earth element is like we can say solids. Of course, it's even beyond that. To an extent, all the solids can be called as earth element. Bhumir Apo. Apo means water, liquid. Anal means fire and heat, energy. Even electricity is a form of heat only. Right? Anal. Vayu means air. It's not just oxygen and the air we see. It's all gaseous things. Vayu and space. Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kam means space. Space we can understand, no? Space.
But
Which accommodates everything.
There is space within the body because this.
Because the whole thing is situated in the space. If there is no space, space is the one which accommodates everything.
Okay. Why didn't they talk about the blood?
Because that all comes into liquid and solid. You don't have to. This is a nice way of analyzing. This is called Sankhya. Studying the material elements. Blood is again constitutes. Blood can contain some solid, some liquid, some heat. Everything is there. What we see, they are all like mixture of something in the body. What we see. The primordial elements. That's what Krishna is talking about. When everything is disintegrated, the body we have, it's all combination of all this. When it disintegrates, it goes in primordial form. That's the earth, water, fire, air, space he's talking about. So this 8 elements constitutes Krishna's separated, Binna means separated, Prakriti, material energy. This subtle body, which is matter, the gross body, which is also matter. There is one difference between subtle body and gross body. The gross body can change when we go from one body to another body. The gross body, whatever body I have today, it will be gotten rid. And then I will be entering into new, and I will enter into womb of another mother. A body develops according to whatever I desired and whatever deserved. I will get a particular body. That gross body again develops. The gross body is the one. The soul moves from one gross body to another gross body. The event which, when the soul leaves the gross body, that's called death. Only the gross body is being changed. The subtle body is still same. The day we came into the existence in the material creation, we have been given this covering. The soul first is covered, wrapped up with Ahankar. The next layer of wrapping up is Buddhi. Next layer is mind. This 3 layers of subtle body is always the same. That subtle body carries the soul from one womb to another womb, or from one body to another body. So that means subtle body, mind's purpose is to remember everything. So that means previous life I was a dog. Whatever happened to me, I should remember in this life, right? Because I got the same mind. I should remember. Indeed, that memory is there in my current mind, it is there. But for my own well-being, that have been read protected. The directory have been read protected. Otherwise, I'll get confused. My identity, right? False ego, identity, and then I will not be able to function properly in this life. For that purpose only, Krishna tells, because of me only they are able to forget. He is the administrator. He makes sure that we don't remember. Krishna tells in the 5th chapter, Sarvasya Chagam Kriti Shanni Vishtu, Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. From me comes Smriti, remembrance, Jnanam, knowledge, Apohanam, forgetfulness. For our own well-being, Krishna makes us to forget our past life. Prabhuji, if I remember some maybe little bit past life, I will not have all this doubt. I will not argue with you. Show me the proof for the soul and all of them. No? As I said, a child, a newborn child, do remember the previous life. It doesn't forget immediately. You can see sometimes the newborn child will be there, closing the eyes and sleeping and smiling something, doing something. So after taking birth in this world, slowly it forgets. Some children might carry for longer. Those are the anomaly cases we hear. There is one the professor from Virginia University, Ian Stevenson.
Yes.
He had done so much of case studies on past life remembrance. The case reincarnation research he had done. Because when usually who remember the past life? When something extremely traumatic happens in the past life. In a traumatic situation, when somebody leaves the body, then that is etched strongly in the mind and that memory spills over. It's like somebody did not empty the recycle bin. And those files are showing up here. Whose file it is? Huh? So, this subtle body is the one carries the soul from one body to another body. This science of transmigration of the soul is what Gita talks about in the 2nd chapter talked about, and in 13th chapter Krishna will talk more. So this middle 6 chapters, as I said, when the soul transcends the body, gross body and subtle body, and identifies itself with that I am actually spirit. When somebody comes onto that level, when somebody's consciousness is completely purified, it doesn't anymore identify with the body. At that stage, the activity he performs is called bhakti. Bhakti is the activity of the living entity in its purified state is called bhakti. In the purified state, the soul, what it will do? It's naturally, as I said, dharma. The word dharma means what?
Property, Prabhu.
Property. What property? The intrinsic, inseparable characteristic of something is called dharma. There is no equivalent word of dharma in English. People translate dharma sometimes as religion, righteousness, duty, like that. But the actual meaning, if you really want to understand, the concept doesn't exist in the English language. If you have to translate that word, there is no single word, you have to give a description. The intrinsic, inseparable characteristic of something is called dharma. Like the dharma of water is to be liquid. If you separate the characteristic of liquid, the attribute of liquidness from water, is it water anymore? No, either it becomes steam, water vapor, or it becomes ice, right? In normal condition, water is liquid. Similarly, in its normal condition, what is the dharma of the soul? To serve. Naturally, its tendency is to serve, to love and to be loved, to repose and to reciprocate. This is the nature of the Atma. In its purified state, what it will do? It will serve. Instead of serving the temporary thing, it will serve the eternally existing, the supreme object of love. God, Krishna, Paramatma, whatever you want to call it. In its purified state, what naturally the jiva will do? Serve the supreme. That activity is called bhakti. The activity of the jiva in its purified state is called bhakti. So when a jiva goes through by its own endeavor of purifying itself and comes up to the level of a atma, the activity it will naturally do is bhakti. That is why Krishna in the last verse of the 6th chapter tells, Yoginam api sarvesham mat kadenandar atmanaga shraddhavan bhajate yomam tame yukta tamo mataha. Same yukta tamo mataha. He is telling of all the yogis, one who goes through karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, of all these things, finally, when somebody is completely purified, that stage he will become bhakti, he will perform bhakti. So of all the yogis, one who performs bhakti in me, one who always abides in me, the one who always have complete faith in me, the one who renders loving devotional service unto me with faith, he is the topmost yogi, he says. This is my opinion. So now how to perform bhakti? Bhakti means there are three things. Bhagavan, Bhakta, and the act of bhakti. Love means there has to be three things. The lover, the object of love, and the act of love. Love is not just a emotion and sentiment, it's in the mind. When I say I love someone, we have to act, we have to do something to please the beloved. That's called love. Love is not just an emotion and a feeling in just mind. We do something. If I say I love my children and I don't provide food, clothes, nothing, I make them suffer. The word, when I say I love them, it means nothing. Right? When I say I love someone, that means I act on that. Love is a verb. When somebody says, I don't know how to love, then what is the response to him? You do. Do it. Love it. I don't know how to love. No, love it. When that means act on it. Do something to please the beloved. Right? This is the constitutional position of the jiva. Naturally, it will perform, in order to perform love, in order to love the object of love, you need to know something about the object of love. I can't just randomly love someone. I need to have some information about that person to love. That information Krishna reveals in the middle 6 chapters about himself. And he also tells how he can be pleased, how he can be served, how he can be loved. That is why in the middle 6 chapters, Krishna, whatever he speaks, is called Bhakti Yoga. 7th chapter is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Prabhupada translates as knowledge of the absolute. Krishna is giving knowledge about himself. As last time we saw, right? If you want to know something about somebody, who is the best person to get knowledge, give knowledge about that person? That person himself. So Krishna himself declared in the 7th chapter knowledge about himself. That's the chapter we are all reading now. the beginning of Bhakti Yoga section, specifically Krishna talks knowledge about himself. He is telling there is whatever we see in this world through our perceived through our sense, material senses, is this 8 elements. Right? Bhumi Rapo Anala Vayu Kamano Buddhi Revacha Ahankara Midyame Binna Prakriti Ashtada Apareyam Itastvanyam Prakriti Miti Me Param Jiva Bhogam Bhutam Mahabhago Yayodam Daryate Jagat. He is saying beyond these 8 elements, there is one more thing in this world. What is that? Which we can't directly perceive it, but we can see the symptoms. The soul, Atma. What is the symptom of the soul? How do we can understand mind, we can understand intelligence, we can understand false ego, we can understand the 5 elements. How do we perceive the presence of the soul? Consciousness. The symptom of the soul is consciousness. Wherever consciousness is present, what we should know? The soul is present. Wherever consciousness is present, soul is present. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So Krishna is telling, you see consciousness in this world? That means behind it there is Atma. He is telling, there is first is the material elements. Beyond this, in this world, is Atma. This too only makes the various things happen in this world. Then later Krishna will tell, beyond this matter and spirit, there is controller of both. The one who controls both, that's me. Right? Krishna is telling, Matta parattaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya maisaravam vidam protam sutre mani. I am the one who is sustaining everything. There is no truth superior to me. Like that, Krishna elaborates knowledge about himself. That is what we are looking at. This 7th chapter is generally grouped into 5 subsections. This 7th chapter can be divided into 5 subsections. Verse 1 to 3, Krishna gives the glory of knowledge about himself. The glories of knowledge about Krishna. Verses 4 to 12, right? Knowledge of Krishna's energy. Krishna is telling, Krishna has various types of energy. By understanding Krishna's energy, we can understand Krishna. Right? So that is what in 4 to 12. And then 13 to 19, Krishna talks about how to surrender unto him so that we can serve him properly. Right? And then verses 20 to 25, Krishna talks about everybody has to take shelter somewhere. If somebody is not surrendering to me, they are surrendering to something else, to various devatas. Or they surrender to Brahma Jyoti, impersonal attribute of the Supreme, aspect of the Supreme. Right? Demigod worship and impersonalism. And then verses 26 to 30, Krishna talks about how one can overcome from the delusion of Maya to how to devotion to Krishna. That is in the verses 26 to 30. This is the 5th section. So far, what did we cover? How many verses have been covered last week, till last week? Huh? Why it's not getting shared?
You have to reach there.
No, I said to share the desktop.
No, the sharing and then restart.
Okay. Screen mirroring. It is extending only. Choose content, entire screen. You see it?
No.
No, you see it now, right? Now, okay, maybe this. Yeah.
Yes.
I think PowerPoint is doing something, and PowerPoint presentation mode is there. It's not allowing other things to come up.
Yeah.
Okay. You all can see, right, what I have in the screen? Okay. These are the different subsections of this chapter. Up to what verse we covered? Last week Prabhuji covered? 14. 14th verse have been covered, right? 14th verse is part of this surrender, the process of surrendering to Krishna, right? Now, we will, 14th verse is Daivigiyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Evaye Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. Krishna is telling how one can overcome this material energy. If somebody surrenders unto me, then one can overcome this material energy. Otherwise, it is very difficult to overcome because it is very powerful and strong. Very powerful and strong. We are covered by this Maya, then we can't come out of this. The only way to come out of this Maya is when we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, then Maya gives way for us. Okay, here this Jiva is trying to surrender the Supreme. Let him proceed. Why? Because the purpose of Maya is to keep all the living entities in this material world. One who is not completely purified, they have to stay in this material world. With this imperfection, if they go to spiritual world, what will they do? They will create chaos. It is like this. In the society, anybody who rebels and does not follow the laws and repeatedly breaks the law, what does the government do? Take them and put them in correction place, prison house. We call prison house. Prison is a place of correction. That's the idea. We restrict that person's freedom so that he realizes the purpose of jail is two. One is to separate out this person from the mainstream society so that he doesn't cause disturbance in the people who are following the laws. Number one. Number two, that he should be put in a situation where he realizes the mistake and corrects himself. That's why it's called correction house. Jail is called correction house. When the living entity comes into this material world, what is the purpose? Why it came here? Because it wants to enjoy independently. With that mindset, if it stays in the spiritual world, it will cause commotion. So hence, they need to be separated from them. That's why it comes into the material world. Also in the material world, it should not stay here just like that. It should go through some experiences to realize the mistake it made so that it can correct itself and go back to spiritual world. Who decides when somebody can get out of the jail or stay in the jail? The superintendent of the jail makes sure that whether this person had properly reformed or not reformed, right? Who is the superintendent of our jail? Durga. Durga means what?
Hard.
Fort,
Difficult.
right? Any of you from Maharashtra, you will know. Maharashtra is famous for its forts. Shivaji Maharaj. What is the speciality about forts? It is difficult to get in, difficult to get out. It's very strongly guarded. It's strongly guarded, right? That's what Durga means. The one who guards this Durga is called Durga. This Maya Devi, Durga, her job is to make sure that the living entity who has the selfish desires to enjoy themselves, they are kept in this material world. She is the superintendent of the jail. But when she sees that a living entity wants to reform and surrender to the Supreme, she will let, when that living entity is completely purified, she will let him pass and leave the material world, go back to spiritual world.
Is the name Durga mentioned explicitly by Krishna, or is it as part of the purport?
So we will know about Durga. Krishna does not elaborate all these things in Bhagavad Gita
Okay.
because he had very little time. Because Arjuna understood who that is. But if you want to know who that Prakriti, material energy, you need to read Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, you will understand who is Durga. Who is this Maya Devi? Who is this energy? So that is why the Vedic knowledge has to be not taken by piecemeal and understand. Because Krishna, as I said, it's a summary. In summary, if he keeps on giving all the details, what will happen? It will not be summary anymore. Because whatever Krishna spoke in that situation, what is needed for Arjuna? So that things can move forward. Right? So hence he gave a summary. We will know. Krishna is talking about there is energy which takes care of the material things. Who is that personality who manages? Who is that personality? That we will read from Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita, other literatures when we read. Scriptures only will tell you who it is. It is not just purport. It is not Prabhupada's words.
Okay.
Understand? Okay? So, Krishna is telling in the 14th verse, this divine energy of mine. This material energy is also divine only because it is coming from Krishna. This divine energy of mine, consisting of 3 modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Right? So this is the verse you all completed last week. Now we will read 15th verse. Krishna is telling, yes, Madhav.
With every soul there,
Yes.
even like I'm different species, but plants.
All of them has a Paramatma. Because without Paramatma, nothing can function. What to speak of the living entities? Even in an atom, Paramatma is there. That's why otherwise atom will not be stable. The word Vishnu, you know what the meaning of the word Vishnu means? All pervading. Is there in every living entity's heart? Is there in every atom? Is there only an atom? No. Even the space between atom is there. That's what Vishnu means. The word Vishnu means what? All pervading. He's there everywhere. Nothing functions without him. That's why Krishna is saying, I am the one sustaining everything. Like Sutre Manigana Eva, how a pearl necklace is held together by the string, invisible string, like that the entire thing is sustained by him. That's why his name is Vishnu, all pervading. He's the one maintaining everything. Is because of him only everything is functioning. So this Krishna talked about how one can overcome the material energy, how we are bound in this material world, how you can come out of this material energy, go back to spiritual world. Krishna is saying, when somebody surrenders unto me, they can easily cross beyond this material energy. Otherwise, it's very difficult. He's saying. That means somebody has to surrender. So now Krishna is going to talk about who surrenders and who does not surrender. If you surrender, you can cross beyond. In order to surrender, there should be a mindset. Who will not have the surrendering mindset, and who has surrendering mindset? Krishna talks about these 2 categories of living entities now in the 15th verse and 16th verse. These are the kind of people who do not surrender, Krishna says. Namam duskurtino muda prapadyante naradama maya apakarite jnana ashuram bhavam ashritaha. Maybe one of you can chant, we can all repeat. Ji. Namam dushkritino muda prapadyante naradama mayaya apaharta jnana ashuram bhavam ashritaha na you can repeat after me. Not mom unto me dushkritanaha miscreants mudaha foolish prapadyante surrender naradamaha lowest among mankind mayaya by the illusory energy apaharata stolen jnanaha whose knowledge ashuram demoniac bhavam nature ashritaha accepting. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, people are simply foolish because they can't understand what is what. First category is called simply foolish, muda. Who are lowest among mankind. Who are lowest among mankind? We'll see. Prabhupada explains later. Lowest among mankind, naradama. Nara adama. Nara means humans. Adama means lowest. The third is whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. Mayaya apakrita jnana. Ones whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. This is the third category of people do not surrender to Krishna. And who partake the atheistic nature of demons. This is the fourth category. People are openly demoniac. They simply say, go around say, there is no God. Actually, in fact, I am everything. There is nothing beyond me. Right? They thump their chest and say nothing. I am the word. There is nothing. I can understand, I can do this, but there is nothing beyond it. I control everything. Right? Open, there is no God. If at all, if you want to say call God, call me as God. Because I am in control. Right? These are called demons. Openly declares that there is no God. Right? These four kinds of people do not surrender to Krishna. Purport. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering oneself unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Krishna, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, a question arises, how is it that educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all the leaders of ordinary men do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Shri Krishna, the all-powerful personality of Godhead? Mukti or liberation from the laws of material nature is sought by the leaders of mankind in different ways with great plans and perseverance for a great many years and births. But if that liberation is possible by simply surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then why don't these intelligent and hardworking leaders adopt this simple method? Prabhupada is asking a question. It's a rhetoric statement. Everybody is trying to solve problems, right? Everybody wants to solve many problems. The so-called, especially the leaders of the world, they're all working for the well-being of the society. They want to solve people's problem. They're genuinely trying to solve problem. Some of them are very intelligent also. If they really want to solve the problem, and if they have intelligence, then why are they not surrendering to Krishna? If Krishna is the one who can solve all the problems, why are they not surrendering to Krishna? This is a question, very good, valid question. Prabhupada answers. The Gita answers this question very frankly. Those really learned leaders of society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, the Kumaras, Manu, Vyasa, Devala, Ashita, Janaka, Prahlada, Bali, and later on Madhvacharya, Ramanacharya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others who are faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc., surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., but who pose themselves, as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Lord. If somebody is a genuine scientist, what will he do? After studying this, what do scientists do? Study the nature, right? After carefully studying the nature, what conclusion they will come to? Oh, there has to be somebody who manages all these things. That's what some of the founding fathers of science, right? From Isaac Newton to, right, Einstein to Lord Kelvin to many of the people. They're all very theistic. Lord Kelvin said the statement, if you are carefully study the nature, you will be compelled to believe in God. If you are honest, if you carefully study the nature, you will be forced and compelled to believe in the existence of God. One of the greatest mind of science is Einstein. Everybody agrees. What did Einstein say? I wonder what was going on in God's mind while creating this. Why would he say it if he thinks that there is no God? I wonder what's going on in his mind while creating this existence.
It was just a glance, right?
Huh?
But it was just a glance, right?
Yeah.
No need to think.
Yeah, no, of course. What is the purpose behind? What the question is, what he's trying to say is, why things are the way it is? It's unbelievably amazing. That's what he was wondering. What was in his thought process while creating this? Right? That's what all the great scientists do. If somebody does not surrender to the Supreme, that means what? They're not real scientists. They're posing themselves as scientists for some material gain. They want to manipulate people and get something out of people. Now you can understand. In general, if they are honest, even in the path of science or philosophy or whatever field it might be, ultimately, if they don't come up to the point of understanding that there is one supreme will, and we need to connect to that supreme will, supreme plan. That means I have my own plan. I want to manipulate people and direct them and get something out of it. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Right? Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, but who pose themselves as such for material gains, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea of God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempts. Because they don't have understanding of God and they try to solve problems. In the process of solving problems, what they create? They create more problems. Right? We can see it all the time. Around us, that's what's happening. People, when they want to go from one place to another place, people generally walk. Then they saw in the nature, oh, horses, bulls also are there. We can use them to move around. Because this exists in nature, God's plan. People thought, oh, maintaining this horse and bull, it's like expensive also. It's like they take effort. And they're slow also. Let me invent some mechanical machines. It solved the problem. We can move from one place to another place fast. When they created the cars, automobiles, did they know the consequence of what they're doing? Later they're finding out that, oh, there is something called carbon dioxide. When I burn this fossil fuels, it produces carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide, which traps the heat within the earth atmosphere. And because of that, the temperature of the earth is constantly increasing. Global warming. Right? This is a much bigger problem. The problem we try to solve, making to move from one place to another fast. We solved, people did successfully solve that problem, by the way. But what did they do? They created a bigger problem. Right? This is what it is. If you see every one of the solution people come up with, they create a bigger problem or they postpone the problem to next generation. Just be honest. Look at it. That's what happens. Let somebody else pay the price later. Right? So they create more vain attempts to solve problem. They create more problem because material energy is so powerful. It can resist the unauthorized plans of the atheists and baffle the knowledge of planning commissions. So there are so many countries have so many planning commissions, right? They appoint 5-year planning commission, that planning commission, this planning commission. If they don't understand the will of the Supreme, they don't have the higher knowledge, all their plans will be eventually baffled. Because material energy, just like all the plans we makes, just one small whiff of the material energy, everything is finished. Just one small Hurricane Katrina came. The world's biggest army, strongest army, was standing in the side and simply watching. Right? Like some 15 years, 20 years ago, right? In Louisiana, New Orleans. Army, everybody could nothing. When the Hurricane Katrina came, it was pouring. Nobody could not do anything. Simply waiting for all the rain to stop and water to drain. They could not do anything. Right? When one tsunami comes, it wipes out everything, cleans up everything. Forest fire happens. They are fighting. They're trying to contain. If one wind comes, boom, all their efforts are finished. So even though all these people are trying to control the forest fire, in the end, they're waiting for the nature. Some rain comes or wind subsides, right? Sometimes all these genuine forest firefighters, one wind comes, they're all trapped and they're finished. So material energy, if you look at it, it's impossible to overcome. But the current modern society's mindset is somehow I can dominate and control this. This is the mindset of Asuras. We will see later, Prabhupada explains. Right? Because all their plans eventually defeated. Even though they try, in the end we should know that it is defeated. Just one thing changes everything. The atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word dushkritanaha or miscreants. Kriti means one who has performed meritorious work. Atheist plan maker is sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheistic plan maker is called dushkriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. In Gita, it is clearly mentioned that material energy works fully under direction of the Supreme Lord. Earlier we saw, right? This material energy is working under my direction. In the 9th chapter also we will see. It has no independent authority. Material energy is not working independently. Under whose supervision it is working? Krishna, the Bhagavan, right? Super soul. It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movement of the object. Material energy is like the shadow. The shadow, does it have independent existence? When the object moves, the shadow moves. Right? But the shadow looks like a separate independent thing. A person with intelligence, oh, what is this moving? I don't see the hand moving, right? I see only the shadow moving. We think that it is existing on its own. Sometimes, right? When small children, we show them the shadow moving. We don't show our hand, right? We do something behind and then see there, it's moving. Something is coming, catching you like that, right? It is childish to see that image is moving on its own. The shadow is moving on its own. But behind the shadow, the real object is there. The material energy is nothing but a shadow. Under whose direction it is working? The supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movements of the object, but still material energy is very powerful. Even though it is a shadow, it is still powerful, it can cover us. Right? And the atheist, due to his godless temperament, cannot know how it works, nor can he know the plan of the Supreme Lord. Under illusion and the modes of passion and ignorance, all his plans are baffled, as in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana. So anybody who calls I'm an atheist, they are like bacha compared to these two guys.
But what?
Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, they are like tiny, insignificant insects. Anybody who claims as I am atheist, they are nothing compared to Hiranyakashipu. You know how powerful Hiranyakashipu was? All the devatas, they were all hiding. They are all the devatas become servants in Hiranyakashipu's palace. When Hiranyakashipu raises his eyebrows, all the devatas will shiver and come. Master, what should I do? He doesn't have to take his remote and change the temperature, air conditioner. Like that, immediately sun and moon, everything will align, reduce the temperature or increase the temperature. That kind of a powerful demon he is. Compared to Hiranyakashipu, Ravana is nothing. Compared to Hiranyakashipu, Ravana is nothing. You know how? When Ravana learned that Ram is coming to kill, and he went to lower planetary system to get some support. He went to Bali Maharaj. He is the king of all the demons. Give me some help. I need to defeat. At that time, Bali Maharaj said, no, don't waste your time. You are going to be defeated. I can't help you with this. The Lord is very powerful. Oh, really? You can't help me? He was very disappointed. Anyway, you had come here, na? I can't help you in that matter of fighting Lord Ram. But anyway, you had come here. So if you go there on the way, you will see one huge gold, mountain like gold. You take it with you. And he tried to lift that up. He could not lift. It's like a ring, huge ring mountain. He could not lift it. He was wondering what it is. Then he asked Bali Maharaj, what is this? I'm not able to lift it. You're asking me to take this gold. I'm not able to take it. He said, this is nothing but the anklet of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was so big and so strong. His anklet, you are not even able to lift it and take it with you. That Hiranyakashipu was defeated by Narasimhadev. Now the same Narasimhadev had come as Lord Ram in the human form. And you are trying to fight against him. You are asking my help. Just give up, man.
Who did he approach?
Bali Maharaj in the lower planetary system. Bali was the king of all demons earlier. Hiranyakashipu's grandson. Hiranyakashipu's grandson was Bali. Hiranyakashipu's son was Prahlad. Prahlad's son is Bali.
So Bali also had fight with Lord or
No, Prahlad's grandson is Bali. Prahlad's grandson is Bali. So his great-grandfather was a great demon. Who? Hiranyakashipu. As a 7-year, he kept that anklet. And then he told Ravana, you take it with you. He could not even lift it. He said, that kind of a person, my great-grandfather, he was like a mosquito in front of Narasimhadev. He's like squeezed him. He just played with him for some time. Finished. Sometimes, when a cat goes after the mouse, it plays. It knows if you want, it can finish it off in no time, but it'll let it play. And then in the end, it finishes. Like that, the fight between Hiranyakashipu and Narasimhadev was like the cat and mouse playing. Like that. You found something?
Harinara stays in the
Sutala planet.
Sutala.
Royal planet. He got the benediction.
It's a Vishara.
Yeah. It's royal planetary system. Who is the doorkeeper? Guardian for his Sutala planet?
Vishnu.
Vamanadev. So he went there to ask for help, Ravana, and said, no, it's not possible. Give up. Mother Sita does not belong to you. It belongs to Lord Ram. You are illegally occupying this property. You will be evicted from this body. You will be finished. Give up. Still he did not. So Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, they could not. So the so-called demons are atheists. They are insignificant compared to this atheist. Hiranyakashipu, as I said, right, when he raises his eyebrow, everything will move, sun, moon, everything align. Temperature will go up and down. Whatever he wants, it will happen. All the Devatas were servants, maid servants in his palace. That kind of a strong demon was finished, right? Prabhupada saying, whose plans were smashed to dust, although they were materially learned as scientists, philosophers, administrators, and educators. Hiranyakashipu was a great philosopher too. He's not like he's stupid guy, very intelligent guy. These duskirtanas or miscreants are of 4 different patterns as outlined below. Right? The 4 type of, first is the moodas, are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves and say so do not want to part with them for the supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. The humble beast, this humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish fruity worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma is meant for yajna, sacrifice. Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. To such moodas, material plants which are destructible are life's all in all. Despite the fact that moodas enjoy only a very small fraction of the fruit of labor, sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gain. And although they may have ulcers or indigestions, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters. Ignorant of real master, the foolish workers waste their valuable time serving mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the supreme master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from proper sources. The swine who eats the night soil do not care to accept sweet meats made of sugar and ghee. Finally, the foolish worker will untiringly continue to hear the sense-enjoyable tidings of the flickering mundane world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal force that moves the material world. What a classic purport, huh? Describes the word muda in such a vivid way. Huh? This is the first type of people. Simply, people are grossly foolish. Like Prabhupada compares burden of the beast. Who is the classic example of burden of the beast? Ass. Right? Ass is working all day hard for its master for the simply bundle of grass. The bundle of grass is freely available everywhere. It does not realize it. Right? This is how stupid that ass is. Right? It's always afraid of being beaten by the master. Right? But still, oh, you will give me grass. When I work hard, you'll give me grass. The grass is there everywhere freely. So this is the situation of people. Sometimes people work 2-3 jobs. Have you noticed it? Oh, no, I don't have any time. They can't even eat properly. That's what Prabhupada is telling. They will not even eat. They have ulcers and indigestion in the stomach. They don't have time to eat also. They work. They don't even, whatever the fruits of the work they are getting, they will not have time to enjoy that also. This is simply they are foolish. That's what Prabhupada is calling muda. Huh?
I'm feeling like I am also like that.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The second class, another class of duskrit or miscreant is called Naradama, or lowest of mankind. Nara means human being. Adama means the lowest. Out of 8.4 million species of living beings, there are 400,000 human species. Out of this, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed but who have no religious principle must be considered naradamas. So what Prabhupada is calling, somebody might be wearing nice coat, suit, 3-piece suit. They might be eating with spoon and fork. Right? They might look very highly civilized. Prabhupada is saying they are not civilized if they don't have any knowledge of God. They are also called Naradama. Naradama means don't think that some aborigines who are living in some forest who doesn't have anything. Aborigines, they might have some concept of God. They might be worshipping nature. What Prabhupada is calling is, who is lowest of the mankind? They might be advanced in all branch of knowledge. But one branch of knowledge, they don't have any idea. What is that? The knowledge of the soul and the super soul. The science of the soul, they don't have any idea.
Why
And
is he saying that there are 400,000?
Yeah, that is the verdict of the scripture. Padma Purana says, Jalaja Nava Lakshani, Stavara Laksha Vimshati, Kramayo Rudra Sankhyaga, Pakshinam Dasalakshanam. Right? And then Trimsha Lakshani Pashavaga, Shadur Lakshani Manavaga. Let me unpack. Jalaja Nava Lakshani. Nava Laksha means what? 9 lakhs. Jalaja means aquatics, the one which lives in water. How many species are there? It says 9 lakh. Have scientists know all the 9 lakh species? No. They don't have any idea. They'll faint. 9 lakh species. The entire all species of life, not just aquatics, even all together added up, they don't have 9 lakhs. How many species are there in aquatics? 9 lakh species. Jalaja Navalakshani. Stavara Laksha Vimshati. Vimshati means 20. Stavaram. Stiram means what? Steady. Stavara means the things which does not move. Plants and trees and creepers. How many? 20 lakh species of plants and creepers. Stavara Laksha Vimshati. Kramayo Rudra Sankaya. Krimi means insects and reptiles are classified as krimi. Rudra Sankaya. Rudra. Rudra is Lord Shiva, no? Why is the word Rudra? So in the Sanskrit poetry, sometimes when you want to say something, without saying that, another well-known thing, if you say it, people will understand that is. This is Sanskrit poetry. Rudra means there are 11 Rudras. There are 11 Rudras are there in our universe. The chief among them is Lord Shiva. So 11 number is always associated with Rudra. Whenever I want to say 11, I say Rudra, it's equal to saying 11. Kramayo Rudra Sankayaka, meaning 11 lakh species of krimis, reptiles and insects. Bhashinam Dasalakshanam. Bakshi means what? Birds. Dasalakshanam. How many? 10 lakh species. Trimshal Lakshani Pashava. Trimshal means 30. 30 lakh species of Pashu. Pashu means 4-leggeds. How many? 30 lakhs. Chatur Lakshani Manavaha. 4 lakh species of human beings. Not just the one Homo sapien we classify. There are 4 lakh species of human beings, not based on the scientific classification they have based on body structure. It's based on the consciousness. All the descendant of Manu, they are called Manavas, including various Devatas, the higher beings. They are also come under category of who? Manu. Their consciousness is higher. They are all coming under they are also under the 400,000 species of human beings only. Prabhupada is telling out of the 400,000 of human beings, there are some group of people who doesn't have any, they might be very advanced socially and politically, but if they don't have any knowledge about spirituality, they are called Naradama. Understood? Based on consciousness of the person, the human beings are classified into 400,000 categories. In this room itself, there might be different varieties. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. We don't know how the classification. I don't have that. I'm not an expert in Vedic psychology. So I'm just accepting, yes, makes sense, right? Based on consciousness. It is not the modern evolution theory, Darwin's evolution theory, one species changes from one form to another form. That is not Vedic. The theory of evolution exists in the Vedas already. This cheater, Darwin, he just copied it. No, really. The evolution theory already exists. But he copied it in a wrong way. He didn't copy it correctly. He said one body is maybe changing into another body. But Veda says that bodies are fixed 8.4 million. The consciousness, the jiva evolves from lower consciousness to higher consciousness. If you look at aquatics, are the lowest in consciousness. The next is the trees. The next is the reptiles. Next is the birds, the animals, and then above this is human beings. It's like a spectrum of consciousness.
Then the humans can also turn back to animals. And
yes, human beings are the one. It is like this. Have you traveled in Indian railway systems? Everywhere it's the same thing. There are different stations. We get onto board. Let's say I board a train from Salem to Chennai. In between, there are many stations comes. Can I change my destination anywhere? In between any stations? No, I can't. If I have to change destination, I have to come to a point called junction. If I got onto a train which goes towards Chennai from Salem, if I, after getting onto the train, say I want to change, I want to go to Bangalore, is it possible? No. In between, there are many stations are there. Any of the stations, if we get down, I will not get a train to go to Bangalore. But if you come, there is a station called Jolarpet. Jolarpet is a junction. If I get down there, I can either go to Chennai, continue to Chennai, or I can go to Bangalore, or I can go to other places also. Human form of life is like a junction. Other species of like the stations. After this station, automatically will be forced to go to next station. There is no choice. They are going through 8 million species from lower to higher. They are continuously going. They can't jump. They can't go down. They can't go up. They just continue to evolve. Like how from one station to another station, there is no option. Next, after this station, next station is fixed. You can't change it. But human life is like a junction. There, from there, either you can further go down. The same place where you came, you can go back. Or you can go higher. Or you can stay there only. So human form of life is the only opportunity where they can come out of this evolutionary cycle. Either altogether, they can go higher, evolve higher in consciousness, or remain, or go lower. Or altogether get out of the train system. I don't want to be anymore the cycle of birth and death. I want to go back. I want to put a full stop to this. Go back to spiritual world. Go back my home. I don't want to do any more journey. I want to go to my home. Right? Permanent home. So human form of life is satisfied, is special. Only we have the ability. So, but if they're not using that ability, if they're simply interested in advancing sociology and this and that, different branches of science and different branches of knowledge, but they are not, don't have any Atma Jnana, knowledge of the self, how will they advance? They can't put a stop to this. That is why they are called Naradamas. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed, but who have no religious principles must be considered Naradamas. Nor is religion without God religion. Because the purpose of following religious principle is to know the supreme truth and man's relation with him. In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states that there is no authority above him. Earlier we saw, Nata Parataram Nanyat. Krishna is telling there is no truth superior to me. Already said. Right? The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who is all powerful. Whoever loses this chance is classified as Naradama. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, in an extremely uncomfortable situation, he prays to God for deliverance and promised to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is to pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being, because he is eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulty of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusory energy. Srimad Bhagavatam, the 3rd canto, Kapila Muni explains to his mother Devahuti how a living entity enters into the womb of a mother, the journey it takes from the day one. When the semen enters the womb, from the semen is the soul is present. When it enters into the ovum, then a body develops. How? The day one, what happens? First week, what happens? First month, what happens? 6 months later, what happens? The description is vividly given.
When was that? Like Kapila when
This
how
is
many years back?
not how many million years back.
Oh really?
Yeah. He first in Satya Yuga.
So it's not even close
In the
to
current,
what do you call
in the current Yuga,
Nakshatra
not in
or
Kali Yuga. You know, no. Say Kapila Muni was in Satya Yuga avatar. He describes to his mother the condition of a living entity going through this various species of life. He gives one snapshot of what happens in a particular womb. Because after entering, after growing, there is no space, there is no place to move around. Right? Even mother also doesn't have space in the stomach. She has to eat 4 times a day. She can't even turn. Whatever she eats, some spicy food she eats, that comes and burns the skin. It affects the child. Inside, the child is suffering, suffering, suffering. And if it's fortunate, it remembers its past 50 lifetimes. I have been going through like this so many times I did. At that time, it starts playing to the supreme, super soul. God, please get me out of this miserable situation. When I get out of this home, I will surrender to you and I will come back to you. I don't want to enter into any other home again. This is so much suffering. It prays like that. But when it comes through the birth canal, which is a very traumatic event, it's very narrow space, squeezed, head, everything squeezed and comes through, it's a traumatic thing. In trauma, it forgets the whole thing. And comes into this world, and then everybody, oh, beautiful you are. Oh, the whole world is for you. When everybody says, the child starts thinking, maybe the whole world is revolving around me only. It starts thinking, gets trapped. Again, starts thinking that I am great. Forgets the whole thing and continues the cycle of birth and death. So that is what Prabhupada is doing. It's by the influence of the Maya, material energy, it forgets the whole thing now. It falls for the words people give around him. It boosts its ego, thinking that I am great. The whole world is there for my enjoyment only. Right? It is the duty of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies as enjoyed in Manusmriti, which is to guide the religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashrama. Starting from Garbhadana Samskar. There are 10 major samskars or purificatory ceremony a living entity has to go through. There are many. Out of the 10 are milestone events. Starting from before even the father and mother conceiving the child, before uniting, they purify themselves, prepare their consciousness so that they attract a qualified soul, which they can help to guide in the path of God. That's called Garbhadana Samskar. And then when it takes birth, right, Jataka Samskar, Namakarana Samskar, Mundan Samskar, like that, there are various samskars are there. When a child goes through that, it's kind of, it becomes little balanced in life. It's not getting agitated for various things in this life and starts thinking properly in a steady mind. Oh, I need to solve the problem. The real problem. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. Like that. It is the duty of the guardians of child to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies as enjoined in Manusmriti, which is the guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashrama. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world. And therefore, 99.9% of the population is Naradama. Don't feel bad. Huh? Misery seeks company. Right? Misery seeks company. Don't worry. 99.9 is like this only. Prabhupada is telling. The whole population becomes Naradama. Naturally, all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. According to the standard of the Gita, a learned man is he who sees on equal terms the learned Brahmana, the dog, the cow, the elephant, and the dog eater. That is the vision of a true devotee. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the incarnation of Godhead as Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradamas, the brothers Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradama who is condemned by the personality of Godhead can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. It's a classic case study of me. I'm telling, it's a classic case study of me.
Why?
I was actually like exactly Naradama only. I was like that. Eat, work, play, that's all. Nothing else. I was very proud of my knowledge. I was very good in software. Always like, I'm in control. I used to feel like that. There is no way I could have taken up any spirituality in my entire life. Of course, we'll talk about the story later, but some devotee intervened in my life. Prabhupada intervened in my life. My life changed. This is actually a fact. I can tell with 110% guarantee that if we receive mercy of a devotee, life will change. Our life can change only by three ways. Our destiny can be changed only by three ways. First, you understanding how the laws of nature works and making the right choice now, you can change your destiny. But most of the time we don't know what is the right choice to make. Second way of changing our destiny is when the Supreme Lord himself intervenes in a particular jiva's life, his destiny can be changed. That very, very rarely happens. Generally he is impartial. He does not interfere in anybody's life. The third is when a devotee enters in somebody's life. By their prayers, the destiny of a person can be changed. It's a fact. It's a fact. Somebody invited me to the temple. I went. Out of social thing, not for spirituality, nothing. But I liked the prasad. Every Sunday I used to go to only for prasad. That's how my life started. And somebody maybe prayed for me because I was coming regularly weekly to temple and eating. Some devotees prayed for me. Krishna, let this guy become a devotee. I'm not a devotee yet. I'm in the process. This is what happens. This is Prabhupada is giving, see. So the Naradama who is condemned by the personality of God can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating Bhagavad Dharma or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest amongst human beings can be delivered by the submissive hearing process only. But unfortunately, they even refuse to give an oral reception of these messages, and what to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord. Naradamas, or the lowest of mankind, willfully neglect the prime duty of the human being. What is the prime duty of the human being? To listen properly and understand what is what, so that they make the right choice. Duty of a human being to utilize their discrimination properly. If we are utilizing our discrimination to only facilitate sophisticated eating, mating, sleeping and defending, we are nothing but sophisticated two-legged animals only. Dvipada Pashu. That's the verdict of Bhagavatam. Says the next class of Dushkriti is called Mayaya Apakarita Jnana, are those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory material energy. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, and scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are a great number of Maya Apakarita Jnana at the present moment. Prabhupada is telling. Even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita, even people who claim to be the scholars of Bhagavad Gita, they are Prabhupada telling they Maya Apagrita Jnana. Their knowledge have been stolen by illusion energy. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no one equal to him or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. In fact, Sri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. He is the root of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma, the super soul in every entity in his plenary portion. He is the fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender unto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Apagrita Jnana deride the personality of the Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and the transcendental future of the Supreme Lord. Krishna is not a human being. We are like Krishna. Krishna did not take the human form and came here. The human forms are given like Krishna's form. The original is him, Swayam Bhagavan. Human forms are looking like Krishna's Swayam Bhagavan form. You have to understand this is a fact. But generally we say Krishna took a human-like form in this world. Krishna's form is human-like, but actually it's not. Human forms are God-like. That's the fact. That's what Prabhupada is saying. They do not know the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental future of the Supreme Lord. Understood? Human forms are like designed after God's form. All the unauthorized interpretation of the Gita by the class of Maya Apagrita Jnana outside the purview of the Parampara system are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. If you just go in Amazon, search for Bhagavad Gita or search in Google Bhagavad Gita, you will find out literally 500, 600 editions of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada is saying, if they are not in the Parampara system, they are stumbling block in people's spiritual life. They misdirect people. It has to come in a bona fide Parampara. The deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle. The so-called authorities in Bhagavad Gita, when they come to Bhagavad Gita, they remove the personality of Gita. Meaning, by removing the personality of Bhagavan, Krishna. If you remove the word Bhagavan from Bhagavad Gita, only Gita is left. It does not have any meaning. They want to remove the personality and they will say, actually when Krishna says surrender unto me, you don't go to surrender to Krishna, the person. The unmanifested Brahman within Krishna, that's what we should surrender. Krishna doesn't know Sanskrit or what. When Krishna says Aham, it is Krishna the person. Krishna does not say there is unmanifested Brahman inside me, you surrender to that Brahman. Krishna is saying anywhere like that? No. Krishna says surrender unto me means it surrender to personality of Krishna, not to the unmanifested Brahman within Krishna. These people even screw meaning out of Krishna's words. That's why Prabhupada sometimes chastises them. These rascals, why don't they write their own Gita? They take Krishna's Gita and they inject their ideas. Because if they write their own Gita, nobody will listen. Right? They take Krishna's Gita and they want to put their ideas in Bhagavad Gita. Okay? They are all stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual. And the deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle. Fourth, the last class of Duskriti is called Ashuram Bhavam Ashritagha, or those of demoniac principle. This class is openly atheistic. Some of them argue that Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. There are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal future, although the opposite is declared in the Gita. Envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Prabhupada is on a roll on this purport. Huh? Prabhupada is like just having like really like enjoying it, writing this purport. He's cherishing writing this purport. People create many incarnations in their brain. They are all atheists. Because they are so envious of God, they want to manufacture their own versions of incarnations. Right? The atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons whose very principle of life is to decry the personality of God cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Yamunacharya, Alabandaru of South India said, "O my Lord, you are unknowable to persons involved in atheistic principles, despite your uncommon qualities, features, and activities, despite your personalities being conformed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite your being acknowledged by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in the godly qualities." All these people, right, who says the fourth category, Ashram Bhavam Ashritaga, Prabhupada is telling not only people say that there is no God, people who misconstrue God's conception, they are also atheists only because they are envious of God. By the way, none of you here are atheists. The fact that you are all sitting here and hearing, you don't have that. You will not be able to tolerate what I am speaking or whatever Krishna is speaking. If you just, we might have some, over the period of time, we might have heard here and there. I'm talking to all of you. If you, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God. I don't have full faith in God. Am I atheist? No, don't worry. None of you fall into this category, by the way. We will come, the next verse.
Oh.
The four categories who surrender to Krishna. Right? That's the verse. Chaturvida bhajante ma jana sukirtino arjuna artho gignasu artharthi nanicha bharatarshabha. I'll stop here, but this verse next week Prabhuji will continue. Sorry, I covered only one verse.
That's very important.
Because this is such an important verse to understand. Purport is a long purport. I don't know how many of you read before coming here. We are supposed to read, all of you, purports.
Afterwards.
No, before. You read to the class and come, so that Prabhu is supposed to only, he was having a new format, right? I didn't follow his format. I hope he forgives me. Huh? It's very important to understand this. Prabhupada's purport is such a powerful purport. Read again. You will get more meanings. So here Krishna is telling the four kinds of people who comes to him. O best among Bhāratas, four kinds of pious men begin to surrender devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for the knowledge of the absolute. These are the four categories. Artho, Artharthi, Gignasu, and Jnani. So maybe we'll finish this verse. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukirtinaha, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of this, there are four classes of men. Those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after the knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. Bhakti Samarasya Sindhu 1.1.11 defines pure devotion thus: Anya Abhilashta Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavartam Anukulyena Krishnanu Siranam Bhaktir Uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through the fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. When these four kind of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. So you might be thinking, Prabhu, I am not rendering any devotional service. I didn't come here to render devotional service. I am sorry to say, you are all rendering devotional service already. Rendering devotional service means starting with Shravanam. The devotional service starts with the process of hearing. You all have been hearing. That means you are all devotee already. You are rendering devotional service, whether you like it or not. The fact that you are coming week after week to the classes, that means you are a devotee. You may not believe it that I am a devotee. That's okay. You are already in the path of devotional service. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress and at that time associate with the pure devotees and become in their distress devotees of the Lord. Example is me. I didn't come out of curiosity. I came out of distress. I didn't know how to raise my child. That's how I came. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. People are frustrated with all the things. They're bored with watching NFL and NBA and this and hiking, skiing, snowboarding, everything. They are bored. They want to see what else is there in this world. Let me go to this Hare Krishna temple and find out what's going on there. They are inquisitive. They are frustrated with all the things in the material world. They want to see what else is there. What else life has to offer me. Very rare, by the way. None of us are this category, by the way. Right? So they come, right? Because they come to temple, they associate with devotees, they also become pure devotees. So they sometimes want to learn of God and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend the knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma and come to the personal conception of God by grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotee. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendent service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities. They are not called Ananya Bhakta, they are called Mishra Bhakta. They are still devotees, they are Mishra Bhakta. When they give up all the material aspiration, they have only one goal to serve the Supreme Lord. They are called Ananya Bhakta. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come up to the stage of pure devotional service. It's a very high stage. Pure devotional service. It's not easily attained. It's very simple. Very simple, the process is. But not easily attained because our attraction to other material things are so strongly pulling us. We can't give up. So that struggling stage is called Sataka. Sataka is the one. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakta is the one. Sadhana Bhakta means one who knows what's the goal and he knows that this is the goal I want to attain, but he's like getting distracted here and there all the time. And he knows that, oh, I got distracted. And he laments that, why did I do this? Let me correct myself. Like that, he works on repenting and trying to improve. That's called sadhana bhakta, practice bhaktas. We all fall in this category, practice. Again, that also in different levels are there. We'll stop here. I know it's 2:30. Sorry, everybody might be hungry. Sorry. No problem. Any reflections, comments, questions?
You said like 4 types of devotees.
4 types of pious people who come and surrender to Krishna, who come to Krishna. And 4 types?
First one is like for example,
Distressed.
curious.
No, first is distressed. Artho, artharthi, gajnasu, jnani. Distressed, the one who is seeking material wealth, the one who is simply inquisitive, the one who is seeking for absolute truth, knowledge of the absolute truth. There has to be some supreme there. Let me find out where he is. Jnani, that is very rare, the 4th one. So in Kali Yuga, mostly Artho, and Artho. Stressed, distressed, more distressed, and most distressed. That's what they come to Krishna. People who are seeking for wealth, they don't come to Krishna. Where they go? They go to other devatas. Because they easily give. If they want money, right? Dhanam degi, janam degi, dehi, give me. They all go to others. Other babas and other devatas who has the shop open, shopkeepers. Right? You give the milk, I'll give the rabadi. Right? You give your thing, we'll give you something back. It's business transaction. But Krishna, even if somebody comes to for money, with Krishna, Krishna does not give until that person is purified. The example is Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva went to Krishna, thinking that I can get a greater kingdom than my great-grandfather.
Dhruva is star.
Dhruva is currently a star, but he was a prince, son of a king. It's there in Bhagavatam. It's a great devotee.
I think
But-
I like Bhagavad.
Yes, a lot of case studies are there. Lot of case studies, yes. So Dhruva Maharaj went to Krishna, perform austerities, so that he can get a kingdom greater than Brahma. Brahma's Satyaloka, na? Greater than kingdom means Brahma's kingdom also is finished, na? End of Brahma, lay of life of Brahma. After 311 trillion, 40 billion years, Brahma's life is also finished. His planet, everything is submerged. Everything is devastated. Right? He wants something better than. That's how he went. Dhruvaloka is the planet within our system. Within our universe only, Dhruvaloka is there. But when the whole thing is annihilated, Dhruvaloka never gets annihilated. By the way. That's the verdict, that's the benediction Krishna had given for Dhruva. Even though he went for seeking some material benefit, after Krishna appeared, right, he touched his forehead with a conch, his hand. When the Krishna's conch touched, he was completely purified. Then he started offering glorifying prayers. He said, "Oh Lord, I came to you asking for this kingdom which is better than my grandfather's." It is like asking for a broken piece of glass when there is a valuable gem is there. Lord, I don't want any of this. I want only you. I want only devotional service unto you. I want association of your devotees. This is how he prays. But the Lord said, no, you came here asking for me. Anyway, you don't want it. That's why I want to give you. Because you don't want it, I want to give you now. Because you will not misuse it now. You will not harm yourself. So that is the difference between Krishna and other devatas. Other devatas, they will give you, if you pay the price, they will give you. Krishna, he will not give you if that is going to harm yourself or others. Until he is sure that This will not, you will not harm yourself or others. Then he will give it to you, like Dhruva Maharaj.
Why Krishna can't do this with us?
Which one?
Like just put his hand on our head and now we don't know.
He is ready. He is giving already through Bhagavad Gita.
We are giving hand.
He is giving. But we are like hiding. Hey, where? Oh, Krishna's conch touches, all my desires will go away. So let me hide from Krishna. Krishna is willing to give. But we are not willing to take.
Coming behind the curtain.
Huh?
Prabhupada's example.
Yes.
When one of the devotee asked,
Yes.
"Give me the
Hmm.
if I give you bhakti, then everything will go away."
Do you want it still? They said, Prabhupada said, Swamiji, give blessings. Swamiji, give blessings. One person has keep on asking, you want blessings from me? If you get blessings from me, you will lose everything. No, okay, Swamiji, I will come later. Swamiji, I will come later. Because that's what blessings, special mercy of Krishna means. All the unwanted things will be taken away. What we think it is valuable, we know that it is not valuable. We don't know that it is not valuable. Then Krishna knows it will take it away. Don't worry. Krishna is not a cruel taskmaster, or is like not a sadist or something. He's not going to like make you beg in the street. Don't worry. But in general, right? How desperately we want Krishna. You can attain Krishna in one moment. There is one great king called Katwanga. Is there in Bhagavatam. That Katwanga, he was a great Kshatriya, great king. One time there was a war going on between the Asuras and Suras, Devatas and Asuras. There was a war. In that, this king, Katwanga, helped the Devatas. And then they were pleased with his assistance. Devata said, now you ask for whatever boon you want. And then he asked, the Katwanga said, I want immortality. I don't want to die. Can you give me that boon? The Devata said, sorry, we can't give it, which we don't have ourselves. We also die after some time. We also have limited life. How can we give something which we don't have? We can't give that boon. It's not possible to give immortality. Oh, you guys can't give. Then at least tell me when I will die. Then Devatas looked at this thing. Oh, you have only few moments left. You're going to die soon. Then immediately he gave up everything. Immediately at that moment he sat. He completely went in absorption of Paramatma in the heart. In that moment he realized Krishna and got liberated. At that one moment he realized. He understood that I have only few moments left to live. He became desperate. This can't be solved now. I'm going to die. Let me perfect it. It's there in Bhagavatam. That pastime of Katwanga Maharaj. In one moment, he understood that I'm going to die in a moment. Only few moments left. Immediately he went on absorption, meditating on the super soul in the heart. Completely disconnected from everything in the world. He got liberated. Because he desperately wanted it. If you want it, you can attain Krishna immediately. Because he is the closest one. There is no one close to you than him. Not in your clothes, not in your body. He's there as Antaryami, along with this Jiva. He is available always. It's just how badly we want it. Okay? Any other comments, reflections, questions? Yes, Mataji.
Like now you are saying that some people like they want something, so they worship Krishna. So going back to Godhead is also one type of wish that we want to go back to that.
It's a good question. Very good question. Congratulations, Mataji, asking this good question. So I want to. So you are saying that going to Krishna to ask for all these things, material things, people are going. But sometimes people are also going that I want to come back to spiritual world. I want to go back to Krishna. That is also a wish only. What is the difference? The difference is when we go to Krishna, we are saying, Krishna, take me back to spiritual world. That looks like that is also a desire. But why do they want to go to spiritual world? They want to go and serve Krishna. So that is not anymore a selfish desire. Because the desire from the jiva cannot be separated out. The nature of the jiva is, we can't stop desiring. We need to have a right type of desires. That's all. It is okay to desire to go back to spiritual world, to serve Krishna. Okay? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anything else? Any other comments?
Even like,
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. The team, the Kirtaniya team is here. Okay. If there is no questions further or no comments, let's do some Harinam. Amogavardhan Prabhu, please lead us with Kirtan. Here, the Kartal. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we are stopping. Or we will keep the Kirtan. We will keep the live stream going on for some more time. Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, I was in a class. No problem, I couldn't take the call. No problem, I'm coming. I'll be there. I understood you. I'll be there. What is the topic? Okay. I'll conclude and then I'll go to application part. Yeah. Very good.
मेरे मन मंदिर में तो it will be simple.
Where in KK songs it is there? Where?
Lyrics from the top.
Yeah, I think it's on KK. Yeah, KK song.
KK song.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Is enough? This is good? Is it clear? Everybody can read? मेरे मन मंदिर मैंने एक बार तुम आ जाओ गिरिधारी 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 बनवारी गिरिधारी बनवारी मन मोगन कुंज विहारी प्यारे आ जाओ गिरिधारी हरि आ जाओ गिरिधारी रे मन मंदिर में एक बार तुम आ जाओ गिरिधारी अरे आ जाओ गिरिधारी भगत बार के तेर लगाई भगत बार के तेर लगाई करुणा नैन में गिराई जाओ गिरिधारी मेरे मंदिर मैंने एक बार तुम आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे आ जाओ गिरिधारी तो जानकी पतराए दर दर पार माया टकराई दास हमारी प्यारे आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे आ जाओ गिरिधारी मंदिर में एक बार तुम आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे आ जाओ गिरिधारी। थोड़ी कृपा इधर बरसाओ, प्रेम बूंद प्यासे को पाओ। मैं आया एक भिखारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी। मेरे मन मंदिर में एक बार तुम आ जाओ गिरिधारी प्यारे, आ जाओ गिरिधारी। बैंत नहीं मैं कुछ भी लाया, कालीनाथ तेर दारे आया।